Today we're taking a closer look at a relationship that has really taken a lot of people by surprise. We're talking about golf star Tiger Woods and his new romance with Vanessa Trump, who, as you may know, is Donald Trump Jr.'s ex-wife.
It is a bit of a head-scratcher at first glance, right? Like, what could these two possibly have in common?
Yeah, you don't exactly picture them running in the same circles, do you?
Not really, but, and this is where it gets interesting, the more you dig into it, you start to see these little connections popping up all over the place.
Like what? I'm curious.
Well, for starters, they both live in the same area, the Palm Beach area of Florida. You know, close proximity can do a lot to spark a romance.
True, but it's got to be more than just living in the same zip code, right? I mean, there's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, absolutely. And there is. It's not just speculation either. Multiple sources have actually confirmed to dailymail.com that the two have been an item, get this, since around Thanksgiving.
Wow. So we're talking months, not just a fling.
Exactly. And we're not talking about some super public over-the-top affair either. The report suggests they've been keeping things pretty low-key.
How so?
Well, Vanessa's been spotted visiting Tiger's place on Jupiter Island a few nights a week, but they're not living together. It seems like they're enjoying quiet dinners, just spending quality time together and steering clear of the paparazzi.
So very deliberately under the radar.
No.
And, you have to wonder if that's a conscious choice, considering how much attention they would inevitably attract if they went full-blown Hollywood on this romance.
Well, for sure. I mean, with their public profiles, a low-key approach probably makes life a whole lot easier, at least for now.
Makes sense. Now, here's another interesting layer to this whole story. Their kids. Both Tiger and Vanessa's children attend the same school. We're talking about the Benjamin School, a pretty exclusive, not to mention pricey, private school. I mean, we're talking almost $40,000 a year in tuition.
That's a serious commitment to education, and it suggests they share similar values when it comes to their kids' upbringing.
Right, and it's not just a coincidence. Vanessa's oldest daughter, Kai, she's 17, goes there. And so do Tiger's kids, Charlie, who's 16, and Sam, who's also 17.
So there's that built-in common ground, those shared experiences at school events and things like that. You can imagine how easily conversations could start up in that kind of environment.
Totally. And it's not like this is some secret being kept from the kids. The report actually says that all 5 of Vanessa and Don Jr.'s children are aware of the relationship.
Well, that definitely indicates a certain level of comfort and openness within both families. It makes you think this is more than just a passing phase.
It really does. And now here's where things get even more intertwined. It turns out that Tiger and at least one of Vanessa's kids share a major passion: golf. Now, this is fascinating. Remember we saw those pictures of them together at that golf tournament just last month?
Yeah.
And it's no secret that both Kai Trump and Charlie Woods are aspiring professional golfers. Kai has already committed to playing golf at the University of Miami, and she's even been seen sporting gear from Tiger's clothing line. So it's not just a casual interest. This is serious stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder, is Tiger maybe mentoring Kai in some way? Could there be a kind of golfing connection blossoming between them?
It's definitely within the realm of possibility. And to add another layer to this whole golf connection, Vanessa was spotted taking Kai to watch the TGL. That's the new high-tech golf league that Tiger co-founded with Rory McIlroy.
So again, they're spending time together, sharing an interest, and supporting Kai's dreams. And, if we zoom out even further, remember that President Trump himself recently played golf with Tiger Woods.
Right, so even before this romantic development, there were already these points of intersection between the families.
The world of golf really seems to be the common thread. Now, speaking of Tiger and golf, there is a bit of a sad update on his career. He recently had surgery for a ruptured Achilles tendon.
Yeah, really unfortunate. He was actually gearing up for a comeback in Florida when it happened.
And this injury means he'll be sidelined for the Masters. You have to wonder how this setback might affect things with Vanessa.
Absolutely. It could be a real test of their relationship. Will she be there to support him during his recovery? These kinds of moments can really bring people closer.
No doubt about it. Now, let's talk a little bit about Vanessa's side of things. The report highlights that her divorce from Donald Trump Jr. was back in 2018, and it was uncontested, meaning they settled things pretty amicably, it seems.
It does. And what's really interesting is that this is, as far as we know, her first high-profile relationship since the divorce.
So she's been pretty much under the radar romantically.
It seems that way, which could mean that she's been focusing on her kids, taking time for herself, and maybe wasn't actively looking for a new relationship until she connected with Tiger.
That's a good point. Now, on the flip side, Don Jr.'s love life has been a bit more let's say, active. His engagement to Kimberly Guilfoyle ended, and he's moved on to dating Patina Anderson, a socialite from, you guessed it, West Palm Beach.
And this is after his dad won the 2024 election. It seems like things are heating up on that front.
Yeah, no shortage of developments there. And here's the kicker. Sources are saying that both Don Jr. and Bettina are aware of Vanessa's relationship with Tiger.
So everyone's in the know, no secrets. That's gotta make for some interesting family gatherings, huh?
You would think. Especially considering that even though they're divorced, Vanessa and Don Jr. still end up in the same places pretty often. Because of their kids and those big Trump family events.
Right, that shared history and those family obligations, it all adds up to a pretty complex dynamic.
Definitely. And remember how the report mentioned some initial tension between Bettina Anderson and Vanessa when Bettina first started dating Don Jr.?
Yeah, I remember that. Almost like a little bit of a rivalry or something.
Well, apparently now that Vanessa's with Tiger, that tension has eased up quite a bit.
Interesting. So Vanessa finding her own happiness has maybe created a bit more peace in the extended family.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
It's almost like everyone having their own separate lives has taken the pressure off and allowed for a more, shall we say, harmonious coexistence.
Or at least less drama.
Exactly. So, as you can see, this whole Tiger Woods and Vanessa Trump situation is a lot more nuanced than it might appear on the surface. It's about shared geography, a common school for their kids, a passion for golf, and the ever-evolving dynamics of their family lives.
And it's a reminder that relationships, even in the world of the rich and famous, can be just as complicated and messy as anyone else's.
Absolutely. So, for our listeners out there, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. How much do shared passions and experiences influence your own relationships, romantic or otherwise?
Yeah, think about the people you're drawn to. What brings you together?
And in a world where we're constantly bombarded with headlines and celebrity gossip, it's worth taking a moment to consider the real human stories beneath the surface.
Right, the complexities, the connections, and how lives intertwine in the most unexpected ways. Who knows what the future holds for Tiger and Vanessa? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, their story is far from over.
And we'll be here to dive into it as it unfolds. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.